we will start. I'm Jeremy Dummel, a software engineer at Murex. And today I will show you in a very practical and automatable way how to transform your code to keep it up to date. This subject could be quite magical for some of you, so we are not wizards and we will try to demonstrate everything. As C++ developer, we face a lot of changes with new features coming with new practices to deprecated APIs. And for that, we have to maintain our code, and depending on the size of the code line, this can be either time-consuming, painful, or impossible. A classical example could be AutoPTR. This feature was deprecated in C++ 11 and removed in C++ 17. If we want to use any feature introduced with C++ 17, we have to remove all the usage of AutoPTR inside the whole code line. And as any C++ developer, we use tools, and inside our toolbox, we will try to find some options to automate these kind of transformations. The first options could be search and replace, or regex. They are very simple to use, require low investment, and we get a very good feedback on them. However, they also are very limited in what they can do. If you apply this approach on AutoPTR example, yes, we have replaced AutoPTR by UniPTR, but now the produced code does not compile. It is almost impossible with only regex to find the ownership transfer required here. So clearly, this is not a solution we want to invest on, this kind of transformation we want. The second option will be to use dedicated tools. They require more investment than just regex, but they are very more powerful. But as their name suggests, they are dedicated for one kind of transformations. Here, we are quite lucky. For AutoPTR, we can use ClangTidy with modernized replace AutoPTR. As search and replace, AutoPTR becomes UniPTR, but now we can notice that the ownership transfer is correctly handled, and the utility include was added for made it compile with move. Of course, if no tools provide this kind of transformation, we have to do it ourselves. The investment required couldn't be huge. So to lower it, we probably want to extend an existing tools. And this tool is probably ClangTidy. ClangTidy is a C++ linter. So as every linter, it diagnostics bad code usage. Contrary to a lot of linter is based on a real compiler, Clang here. And also contrary to most of their linter, it can suggest code replacement, and it could also apply them, what they call fix-it. And finally, this framework is made for be extensible. So, first demo, let's play a bit with ClangTidy. I will take my first. ClangTidy comes with a lot of checks. If I want to list them all, I can do that. Checks equals start to activate everything. List the checks to only check them. There are a lot of checks. There are a lot of checks. We will not list them all for now. If I look my AutoPTR example, just the example I showed you previously. To apply it on it, I will do clang tidy, class check here dash stars to deactivate everything but only the one I want. Modernize, replace AutoPTR on my file. And now we have warnings, compiler warnings, which are the diagnostics of the linter as OK, AutoPTR is deprecated, and we should use UniPTR instead. But we also notice some green lines here to suggest a code replacement. If we add the dash fix options, now the replacement becomes a fixit. We apply this replacement at the given positions. I can check that with only some diff. And now I get exactly what I've presented before. So we show that we are able to launch clang-tidy and apply replacement. I also said previously that clang-tidy is based on a compiler. But here, when I run it, I don't provide any compile options. Or apparently, I don't provide any compile options. Clang-tidy tools and Clang-based tools, more generally, will use a compilation database inside the compilation commands.json, which lists all the files of your project. It lists the files. It also lists the compile options to compile this file. So, go back to the presentation, to the slide. To understand the rest of the presentation, I have to explain a bit how compiler works in a general way. We can see the compiler as a big black box, taking source file as input and producing binaries from them. Internally, there are a lot of steps, mainly split between the front end and the back end, to do all the transformation you need from the sources. Inside the front end, the parser step is very interesting for us. It takes sources and produces an abstract syntax tree, or EST. This EST, Clang is one of the few compilers allowing us to view and manipulate or query this EST. And this will be a source of information when we are trying to build new Clang check. For this simple expression, int I equals 1 plus 2, the following tree is generated. So we can notice that each node has a special meaning. For example, the variable vardec means variable declarations. Binary operator is the plus. We can also notice that each symbol from the source code is mapped to a special node on the tree, I for the variable declaration, 1 and 2 for the integer literals. And we can make link from a node to a position inside the source code with a file line plus colon. Second demo, let's play a bit with Clang query. Here, I will use this simple code, exactly the same expression as before, but just encapsulated inside hello CPP. And I can launch Clang query on it directly. Again, I don't provide any compile options, but it will find it using the compile commands.json. Clang query is a REPL, so as any good REPL, I can ask help, and I've listed all the commands I can understand. We want to visualize the EST, but by default, Clang query output is the compiler diagnostic, so we had to enable it. We can use the Clang query documentation to know what we can match and how we can match. So what is a matcher? What can I put here? But I will show you from my technique to use only a subset of the matcher I already know to discover and to navigate to new ones. And here we made a guess. So as C++ developer, you may know that everything is ended inside a translation unit. So if Clang query maintainers and Clang tidy developers are sympathetic with us, we can find something in relation with that. So maybe if I can try to put some translation, and finally the completion will help me with translation unit tech. If I run it, I saw the whole representation of C++ of this C++ program. There are some internal stuff, and I found a function declarations. And now I can use this name as new matcher. So to match a function declaration, I can use match function dec. And now I match only this one. I can continue to match the variable declarations. I can match a variable declarations. Let me relaunch. We'll take a little break on this one to analyze it a little bit. We have this diagnostic here and this AST. I said previously each node is specific to one thing, and we can notice that I is at the column 7. And this node is composed with a subtree, which is the binary operator. If now I match the binary operator, I notice that only the right-hand side is highlighted for now. This is how everything is combined. Let's go back to the function declarations. Matchers can be restricted with other matchers. So inside function declaration, if I want to match only this function with this name, I can specify it. I have to put as name hello CPPP. And again, I match only this function previously. We can create new matcher from existing ones. And for example, if I want to create a matcher to limit my visibility on what is inside this function, I can do that this way. Let is inside hello CPPP as ancestor my function declarations. So to match any variable declared inside LOCPP, I can put variable declaration is inside LOCPP, and I found it again. Here I put only one restriction, but I can put more. I can also restrict on his name. If I put I still found it. Of course, anything else will not be found. Any question on Clang query? Fine. Now we can go to something more interesting. Imagine you have access to a C++20 compiler and you want to rangify a bit your code. So to replace, for example, std copy by std range copy, but not the constraint algorithm with the container part. So today we will add this check to Clang query. When I add a check inside Clang query, I follow some rules or some recipes, which is this one. First, I need to have a very strong understanding of the existing code. Secondly, I need to have the same understanding of the code I target. With that in mind, I'm able to build matcher to retrieve one or several information from them. And finally, I'm able to create a textual replacement associated to a location inside the original source code, and this becomes my fixit. And I repeat the operation until I reach my final point. If we apply this pattern on these samples, this means we need to find inside the AST what is the call of std copy. Then we also need to find what is the exact position of the symbol copy to be able to construct a simple text replacement from std copy to std range copy. This is our first step, but not the final point. So we repeat the operation again. And now, inside this call of copy, we need to find where are the call of v1.begins and v1.end. With this information, we have to extract what are the containers they are targeting. And at this point, we will check if the container is the same between the end expression and the begin expression. If not, we stop here. If they are same, we continue, and the replacement becomes, we have to remove everything, the first and the second argument of copy, and replace them with the textual representation of the container. Everything's clear? So let's do it. Here I have LLVM code line synchronized and compiled. You can clone it directly from GitHub. I will go directly to the Clang tidy folder under Tools Extra. And to ease our task, the Clang tidy maintainers have added a check script for us. Add new check. So let me launch it. I will put myself inside the modernized module, and I will call it use ranges. It will do a bunch of things for me. Let me launch the compilation behind. So it creates new files, my new checks. It registers it inside the modernized module. He'll also register the new files inside the build system, CMake for now. And he also creates some text documentation and a test file. This test file will be our scratchpad or environment to create this check. The compilation is done, so now I can launch my new Clang tidy. Bin Clang tidy. Again, I will check if my check is registered. Okay, my check is correctly registered. So now I can use it on my test, for example. So I can launch it. I don't know if you see. I will put that up. And the register check is just to add the awesome prefix before any functions, to any functions. And I can also launch a test. And the test framework is lvm lit-v, the test. And for now, the test is green. At this point, we add a new check, which do nothing interesting. We are able to launch it when we are able to launch the test. And I say that the test will be our zone of work. The main idea when I create a clonk tidy check is to limit the AST to the bare minimum. As you saw, the AST can be very verbose, and if I take dependency from the other side, it can be very difficult to navigate into them. So to create this match on copy and ranges, I create a subset of the STL only for this purpose. We don't need to have a working implementation, just the interface, which should compile. This is what I have created here. CPP. CPP type. Let me copy it. And I will open the test file. So inside the test file, I put some very limited STL. And I had 3 tests. One, to check I'm able to convert this kind of calls. The second one for different kind of calls using begin as free function instead of member functions. And I put a negative test as an already range-based copy should not be transformed. As every test framework, we can put assertions on it. And this time we are asserting compiler diagnostic. And this is made with this syntax, check message at line -1. So for this line, at column 3, I want this compiler diagnostic, so this warning. This is what this green line means. First step in my next step in my recipes rules, I have to build a matcher to find information from the AST. So let's do that. I will first modernize use ranges. I show the code first. It will be easier to understand if I save it. And if I not close. Sorry. No. So I have my test. We'll show the test here and the ST behind. we already know how to find functions. So let's start with that. Match functions decl as name. And I want to see what is inside std copy1. I don't have enable the ICT output. Inside the code, we know we have two variable declarations and one call of copy. So we can find them here, the two variable declarations, here and here, and the call of copy. So we have to match something here, and probably the call expressions. But the call expressions on some things. Let's do it again. So, match a call expressions, but I need the call expression on copy. I don't want all the call expression. So I need the call expression where the callee is a function declaration which has the name copy. It's not really readable. I will deactivate the AST, redo it again. And now I found my call to std copy, the two calls, but I also found a call of ranges copy, and this one we want to discard it. So we have to refine the functions we are targeting. One option here is to fully qualify the name of the functions. And this time, we only have the two match, the two interesting one. So now we can copy-paste this matcher and add it to Clang query. Use ranges, check. A check in Clang query is made in two parts. The first part is to register the matcher, and the second one is to is a callback call when something has been found. So I will add my matcher, and I can add it a name, for example, match. What I did first is to retrieve what I've matched just before. And I retrieve it with its name. Now we want to produce a diagnostic as every linter. So we will use the diagnostic engine of Clang query to report something as a warning. But we have to do it at a specific location, the location of the match expressions. And finally, we will do it with a specific name, a specific message. We'll build it. And now we can try to run it again on our test file. This is not expected. This is not expected. Sorry. Let's try again. So if I don't mismatch my name, we produce the diagnostic on the two calls as suggesting us to replace STD copy by STD ranges copy. If I run the test again, now the test is passing. So indeed, everything is correctly generated. So the output diagnostic is correctly generated. But this is not exactly what we want. We want a replacement. The diagnostic is fine, but the replacement is better. And what we want is the first step, that. On this case, and that on the other. I will add a new assertions, and this time I want to check that the fix generated is this one on the both cases. So I add check fixes. To be sure, now the test is failing as the fixit is not produced. When I describe the first step to replace STD copy by STD range copy, I say I need two informations. First, what is the call to STD copy? This one, we have it. And the exact location of the symbols copy. But this one, we don't have it yet. So we'll enhance the matcher inside Clang query to find these informations. I will limit the visibility to STD copy 2 for now, as I showed you previously. Easier to read. And I can rerun my call expression with this constraint. I want to visualize only the ST. And what this IST tells us? That the call expression is composed of several nodes. And the first one is a reference to a symbols copy. And this is this one we want to extract to. A way to do that is to add restriction on the path to this node. And you can do that this way with have for asking a child as implicit cast expressions. And inside this explicit cast expression, I also want the declref expression. As again, ref expression. And this one, I will add it a name to retrieve it. We'll set output diag on F. Rerun again. Now my matcher retrieved me two informations, the call of copy, as previously, and where is the symbols I'm looking for. Let me copy paste and add it to Clang query. Again, I can retrieve it. And what I want is to replace this name. So I have to ask where is inside the file and to replace it with a fixit. The API for that is fixit int create replacement on some specific source locations with a specific text. Now, if I run it, I have still my diagnostic, but also a second line to suggest me that the replacement. If I run the test, now the test is green, so his trunk tidy is able to produce and apply this replacement inside the file. We are in a pretty good way, for what I think. But this is not the final step. We want to replace the iterator pair with only the container. So we want this replacement on that one. For that, we still have to extract informations to extract from the iterator pair the container. So let's do it again inside Clang query. I will visualize the list and I run it again. So I have my call expression on that. The first node is a link to the functions. And here, I have the first and the second parameter, which are again a call expression to begin and end. So I will build new submatcher. So the call of a begin will be, as previously, a call expression to a function with the name begin. And we will do the same thing for the end expressions. And now I can also enhance my matcher, asking that the first argument, argument 0, is my begin expressions. I will retrieve also, give it a name. And my second argument, argument 1, is my end expression. Output diag to be sure. And now from a single matcher, I retrieve 4 informations, the 2 previously found, and a way to access to the begin inside this call, and a way to access to the end inside this call too. This works well for free functions call. Now we can check if it's working also for member functions call. So I will limit the visibility to the first one. So install copy 2, no. Yeah. Side. Let me find it. Yes, yes, inside. 1, 1, 1. now we'll check if it's worked too, and finally, yes, the same expressions, the same matcher is able to find either if we are on free function calls or on member function call for the pair of iterators. So let's copy paste this matcher. I will also add the begin and the end. And again, I can retrieve them. Okay. We want to extract and check the container are the same and produce a replacement. Let's start by putting some utility to simulate the way we are looking for the container inside the begin and the end expressions. So let's put a function for that. Container expressions with the matchers results. And let's return nothing for now. We want to produce these new transformations, this new fixit, only if we are able to find and make some check on this container. So if I have my container, I want to create a replacement, but associated to these diagnostics, this message already produced. So we can store an handle on it, and we will use it here. With the fixit int. But what are we trying to replace and by what? We want to replace it with the text targeting these expressions. So we have to retrieve this text. So let's do that. And we will manipulate what is called the lexer to go directly to the source file, get source text of a range of tokens. I have also to give it where are the source and what is the language we are targeting. We can target C++11, C++14, or as Cranktag is a general C++ compiler, C, CUDA, or something else. So we have to give it what is the language we are currently using. This one is not good. I missed something. Ah, yes. So now I have access to the text. I'm able to create my replacement. Create replacement from the beginning of the beginning expression to the end of the end expression. Let's do that. Show source ranges. Get token range. So the beginning of begin. To the end of end expression. And we will replace them with the container text. Okay. Now what we have to do is to extract the container stored inside my begin and end expressions. So we manipulate that. Let me copy paste them. We also need to verify that the container expressions, let me name it begin container expressions. So we will have some things here. And we will have the same for end. So let's do that later. Begin end. We will use that find container expression from begin end. With my end. Okay. And now we have to verify they are the same. We are quite lucky. There are other tidy checks. We are doing exactly the same things during the loop transformations. So let me add some helper functions from the loop convert. Loop convert utils. And now I'm able to do if are same, are same expressions. Need a context, I will give it a context. The first expression will be my begin container expressions. The second one, my end. If neither not the same, I will return null. Else, whatever, the first, the begin or the end. Okay. Now this will be maybe the tricky part of that. We want to match either a free function call, so begin of some things, or a member function calls, which is the begin. In C++, you can use different techniques. One of these techniques could have been RTTI, so dynamic cast. However, Clang is not compiled with dynamic cast or RTTI, but provide a very similar way. So, in fact, what we are trying is to verify if the callee of the call expression is free functions or a member function calls. So we'll extract the callee first. Get callee. If const auto if I am able to dynamicase this one to a member expressions, I'm inside this kind of calls, else I'm a free function calls. In the case of free function calls, it's quite easy. What we have to return is only the first argument. So let's return it. And in case of member expression, what I have to return is the base expression allowing me to access this member function calls. Get basis. Now we should have everything. It's compiling, it's linking. So I try to run my check, and now I saw that I have a second suggestion to replace all this part by only V1 and all this part by only V2. So we have been able to boot this checker.
Just a quick question. What happens if you have a steady copy but without the matching on the beginning and end as the two first arguments? Will the check run partly or will just the check be skipped?
As is, the question is, what happens if I have something like the beginning and the end expression outside the call?
Yeah, for example, like a STD copy, it's 1, it's 2, and back and forth.
As the matcher is written now, it will not match. This is a limitation for the purpose of the demo. To go further, this is possible. We have to change a little bit the matcher and to write it differently. But it will not fit in the time. So good. Now we have all the matcher. We have everything. We have had this one to Clang tidy. What we can do is to be able to run across several files Clang tidy, because you don't want to run it one by one, or I don't want. And we will do some kind of inceptions. We'll try to run our new matcher inside Clang tidy, Clang itself. So let me go directly to the Clang compiler source. And there are a script they provide for that is called run clangtidy.py. This script will look at compile command.json, run in parallel through every file defining it. We can limit this visibility to some match, to some pattern. And here, again, I provide only my my new Clang tidy binary. And I activate only this check. So let's run it. Here I lost the colored output, but we should be able to show some stuff because, in fact, I already know there will be some match. Yes, we got a match. So the scripts run through all Clang and find a file with this usage and try to replace it. This will end my demo. And as conclusion, it is possible to maintain conline, especially big conline, but we need tools. And inside those tools, we have Clang tidy, which is very accessible. In 1 hour, I've been able to add a new check, and not a trivial one. It's not perfect, it's not finished, but it's a good start. And it's very powerful. We can be limited only by your imagination. Thank you for assisting this session. And feel free to ask any question. Yes.
Is there an extension for the linker? Like Python is good for when by compilation there's some understanding about how the objects are linked together? Or is any project aware of that basically goes a step further than it's compiled, like I have a object A, say a variable, a global variable declared in singleton in one compilation unit that goes in one shared library, another is going in another shared library, so basically you can understand that context as linking.
This kind of action, I think, is more relative to LTO and during link time optimizations. What I present was more inside the same translation unit, how we can transform one translation unit. We can link together, we have to go to several levels. For example, for some project like Kate, which made some relation between translation units. Yes.
In your example, you modify a given expression into the code. What happens if there are side effects like modifying an include file or modifying a using directive?
Modifying include file.
How do you manage that?
This depends. This depends on use case. Modifying include file is not an issue if the produced replacement is always the same. When the fix will be applied, it will verify it will clean up everything. And if every transformation is always the same at the same positions, you consider it by only once. So you don't have any issue. If you produce several transformations at the same position inside an include file, it will be diagnostics and no fix will be applied.
Just to repeat my question of earlier so others hear it, is there any chance that you could publish the final source code, please?
Yes, I will clone LVM repository and push my fix to a local, to a clone of
Thank you very much.
Yeah, so I just have a small question about deployment. So you had to compile your version of ClunkTidy to include your new check. So is there a way to overwrite or overwrite the checks that ClunkTidy applies like in runtime, or do you have to ship binaries to all your dev teams in order to get the new check on all the local machines that you want to check the code in?
For now, you have to deploy a new binary.
Okay.
Two quick questions. One, inside the ASD, is there any information if part of it was actually introduced by a system header or not?
Yes, this is why during my test I only limit to the visibility to nothing.
So that part is just not showing up in the ASD at all, or that is filtered separately?
It is visible. It is visible by default. This is why I remove every dependency on the
And would you have other recommendations on resources and other tutorials, maybe?
Yes, a lot of. I will share them with the slide.
Okay, thanks.
Those links, but I will share the slide.
My question is if you have a template class which is not instantiated with a concrete type, it will show up in the AST3 or not?
No. Okay. Only instantiated template will be shown.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.